Shelley obviously delayed the milestone, obviously feeling better, but how excited are you by the prospect of joining a fairly exclusive club at 75 games in the competition's history?
Yeah, especially at this early stage. It took a little while to get there with our 7-game seasons, but yeah, pretty happy to get the milestone in, and especially here down at Cattery.
Yeah, your journey's obviously been well documented, but have you got more out of your career than you thought? You know, obviously you didn't debut till I think you had a 3 in front of your age when you played your first game. Did you still expect at 36 you'd be running around?
Definitely not. I actually started when I was 28, and yeah, I would never have thought that 75 games I'd still be here. I think I thought I'd have a 5-year career and probably be pushed out the door, but fairly fortunate.
Yeah, the move from Melbourne to Geelong, obviously taking away the travel from down the Western District, does that prolong your career?
Definitely. It was getting quite exhausting there toward the end with Melbourne, the 2 hours, especially a lot more time over at Casey. But and now we're here, even when you hit traffic, maybe 5 minutes more. Definitely, it's been great.
What has the Cats been able to do for your career in particular?
Just different management as well. I came here with a few injuries, and you know, the physios managed, and S&C managed me quite well. And yeah, to be honest, the body's never felt better. So that side of things has definitely allowed me to get the extra few years.
Could you get to 100 maybe, or was that a bit too?
I don't know.
Thinking?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Dan, just a word on Shelley and her impact since she's joined the Cats.
Yeah, it's been huge. We spoke to the group this morning in our team meeting around just how special 75 games is for Shelley, but for us too, like, you know, leadership, you know, being at Melbourne, being captain at Melbourne as well, and coming from a really good program has accelerated our program to a certain degree, but also her mentoring to a younger group, toughness, resilience, all the things that we want the game to be going forward as a competition. Shelley's brought in spades. I know she's probably embarrassed listening to it now, but we've got better with Shelley being a part of our program.
Were you really keen to get Shelley on board, take us back to the trade move a few years ago? We
were looking for players who can come in and, as I said, accelerate the need for competitiveness and to where the vision of the game's going as a competition going forward. And with Shelley's resilience, and she's as tough as they come, but also really strong fundamental, great decision making and great leadership, all the things that we need as a younger group at the time. It was a no-brainer for us, you know. So the impact in that short period has been significant for us to go long term. Yeah, so the 75 games to 100, yeah, it's a good conversation to have. We'll talk after this, but yeah, just having Shelley be able to play for us and not have to go to Melbourne all the time, all those things kind of support her own performance as well. Like, she's been exceptional in big games for us. She's been a real strong driver up front, and she's been a great mentor to our Irish players who are learning the game as well. So, you know, potential coach, on-field coach for us has been great too. So, yeah, really a big asset for us.
So, back on that, Shelley, keen to go on in 2025? Like, this is not a farewell tour or anything like that?
I don't think so. I think it's just, like I said, we'll probably chat about it. I haven't really, I guess at this age you sort of don't think too far ahead. You just look at each year as it comes and go from there.
Do you reflect on your career? Obviously, you're a goddamn baller, as we know. Do you wish you had come along 10 years earlier at this level, or is it?
I was playing the footy at primary school when I was a kid, and all I thought about was playing AFL. But I was quickly told that wouldn't be a case, so I just switched over to netball and played a little bit of soccer as well. But yeah, it's what it is. I don't know.
Just on your trade, was there any other clubs that were interested? Was it always Geelong for you? Yeah.
I wasn't really interested in going anywhere else. Obviously, the shorter drive time was the biggest key factor there, but also a few of my old teammates from Melbourne had played here before and said a lot of really positive things about the club. So
a lot of your teammates have spoken about how, I suppose, frustrating it's been this year that you've played such good footy, but only got the 2 wins on the board. I know that you're in that camp as well. That probably the return on investment this year just hasn't franked itself like it probably should have.
Yeah, sometimes that's sport, isn't it? You can play well in moments, but not well enough to actually get yourselves over the line. But yeah, again, I think that's just sport. It's frustrating, but there's plenty of learnings that we take from it. And as a group as a whole, it doesn't reflect the work that everybody puts in. But it just is a build year on year after that.
Dan, what's the big focus ahead of the weekend?
Well, we know I've got Brisbane, who are in super form. Our last 2 games against them have been quite tightly contested. So, the prelim last year was a great game for us to learn from. A couple of seasons before that in Maroochydore was a really tough game as well. So we're expecting a really strong performance from our girls against what is a really strong Brisbane Lions outfit. Again, we talk about refining a few things in regards to our scoring. We're getting the ball in our front half. We think enough. It'd be good to get it forward some more, but just making the most of those opportunities. But at the same time, how we defend opposition scoring has been a bit of an issue for us over the season, as it has been throughout the competition as well. There's been some high scores this year, and we want to be tighter in our defence. So that balance between attack and defence is something we're chasing this week, and then just our application around contest against what is a really strong midfield.
Darcy Maloney, can you just take us through what the injury is? We just got injury.
Yeah, just a bit of bruising on her ankle, a bit of bone bruising there. So just still assessing it. She did some recovery today, so she hit and miss for this week, but very likely for next week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was Amy McDonald close?
Yeah, she's trained a week. So it's just that, do we risk her this week, which will be a fast, a high octane game, where she might not be quite there. So we just went down maybe on the side of caution for her this week and give her one more weekend to freshen up.
Will she scrimmage? Have you got a scrimmage plan for your girls?
There's no scrimmage for our girls this week, but she's trained all week, and we had match practice on Wednesday, and she was back to her best. So we'll give her another weekend. Yeah.
You're going to give Chantel Mason a run on Sunday? We haven't decided that.
I haven't decided yet. Yeah, there's running out of games for her to play. But she's certainly putting her hand up, and I've spoken about Atlee before. We'd love to get her into the team at some point. There's still a few things we're kind of weighing up, but she's certainly pushing. Yeah.
Is there an extra determination, obviously, with the season as it is, and pretty much on the line if you guys don't win this weekend?
Is there any expectation?
Yeah.
Or added? Oh, no. It's well publicised that we've just got to win to give ourselves a chance to play more footy. And our focus this week is, the old cliche, we'll take it one week at a time. But Brisbane is our next opponent, so all week the focus has been around how we can, play our best brand of footy against which is a strong opposition. If we get the result we're after, fantastic. Take the learnings from it, move on, and then we focus on the West Coast Eagles the week after. But I don't think we're going to get held up on the fact if we don't have the greatest of outcomes for us. It's about what are we going into the game to achieve, and we'll measure our performance off the back of those, and hopefully we get the win. That's what we're chasing. That's what I know you and I are chasing as a group. But it's not going to deter what we do going forward.
As King touched on there, you guys have played some good footy, but only the 2 wins on the board. It must be pretty frustrating for you week after week. You often are the better side on the day, but don't come away with those wins. Yeah,
it is. It's from a coaching perspective. Continue to build, our IQ and game awareness and scenarios that the game gives you. And you mentioned that we've done okay throughout different parts of games, that we just haven't put it together for 4 quarters, or there have been moments in games where maybe we've kind of dropped the ball a bit with our decision making, which has cost us in the end. And but again, this is a reflection on where the competition's going in terms of improving around individuals and teams and the way they're building. We just have to make sure that we're building strong around that too. So yeah, we've been in games. Hawthorn was a great game. Fremantle in the game. Melbourne early. North Melbourne draw. So yeah, we're playing good enough, but not for long enough.
There's been a lot of discussion about the quality of AFLW. Obviously, you guys have to benefit often of playing at GMHBA Stadium. Do you feel, obviously with that Hawthorn game you touched on was one of the most high quality games, do you feel that does have a significant impact, as well as the fixture crunch, on the quality of different games? Oh,
potentially. It's taken a few years to get to this point. I'm looking at all the conversation last week off the back of the Essendon Bulldogs game. Don't forget, it wasn't that long ago when we were playing in week-to-week Dow games with low scores, making sure that we don't get scored against, because the growth of the group was important, and the steps in that progression were important to take as well. And maybe the competition at that point in time were okay to accept those types of performances, but now the scrutiny is like, well, we've got to get better. And so the Doggies credit last night, they come out and scored. It just takes time, and I think we've had that 2 or 3 seasons of progression, so now that we're looking better out in the field, and that's what we're aiming to achieve, is to play really consistent footy that's free flowing. Yeah, playing at GMHBA is a huge advantage for us. There's no lying around that. But we just got to keep giving teams a chance with the younger playing groups to build on their game style, so that the product is what we want it to be. But it's not going to be there as consistent just yet. But it's going to get there very quickly. Yeah.
Do you feel there is a bit of an obligation for coaches, particularly when the game's sort of in its infancy, to have that free-flowing brand rather than, I guess, play negatively?
Oh, I think so. But it needs to be, this is my opinion,
Yeah.
There's a progression for it. So we can look at the way the AFL men play, or some of the teams that are playing quite consistent footy in the AFLW. There are many layers to getting to that point first that need to be introduced. And fundamental is one, game IQ is another. To be able to just say we're going to play this kind of game style with the strengths and weaknesses in our team, it's just not going to happen. So there's going to be some hard times. There's going to be some times where it looks good in patches and moments, but to get the consistency piece, it takes time, practice, and buy-in from the playing group. And this is what we've got. We've got 11-game season. So the time and practice is quite limited. So as we progress and get longer time together, I expect big jumps in the competition.
Was it nice to see Weeks next to Chloe Shear's name rather than TB?
Yeah. She's getting around fine at the moment, which is great for all of us. It'd be nice if in the next 3 weeks that we get a chance to get her in. Yeah.
Have you missed her, Shell?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she's a powerful, really consistent player for us. So, yeah, if we were able to get her back, it'd be great. But at the same token, it's injuries take their time.
Is she any chance to go to Perth, or is it just Adelaide? What are you focusing on there?
She's a chance to go to Perth. Yeah, she's hoping to play, and we're hoping that she gets a chance to play too. So she's a chance. Yeah.